Hey, hello, and welcome to the Speakeasy. I'm your barkeeper, Jeff Belanger, and you guys, you're surviving, and that's what matters. You made it another day, and I think that's worth celebrating, quite frankly. So I'm glad we're coming together to hang out, to swap some stories, to share some things. And speaking of sharing, please like this page, share this video so your friends can also partake in some of our mischief. I'm really glad you guys are here because I got to be honest, you've really helped me get through this crazy long quarantine, and we seem to be getting toward the end of the tunnel. I see a light. I see a light up ahead, and it's looking like better days ahead, and I hope that's true for all of us. So thank you. Thank you for sharing, being part of this. It's been a crazy trip, but we'll get through it. We'll get through it together. So there are few cities in the world with the allure of New Orleans. I mean, I think about New Orleans. I think about the food, the music, the voodoo, the vampire, the ghosts, the hauntings, the pirates. So much going on there in the Big Easy. And so tonight we're going to take a trip. We're going to go to the French Quarter. We're going to go to the Garden District. And we're going to go far beyond with a voodoo priestess, with an author, with a paranormal investigator, with my buddy, Bloody Mary.
Greetings. How are you, Jeff?
I'm as good as I can possibly be right now, all things considered. How about you?
I am also well. I will toast to you and your audience.
Thank you. So, and the phone's ringing
and they're
now.
calling already.
They're calling already. So I'm drinking a Bloody Mary in honor of Bloody Mary. Cheers.
Cool. I am Bloody Mary, but I don't drink them.
No, that's okay.
But I like vodka when I do drink, which is very rare these days. I have not drank my way through this quarantine.
I've been okay for the most part, except for these crazy things. So, folks, what are you drinking? You can check in. Chardonnay in Chelmsford, very nice. I think I hired an escort named that once.
Okay, we're getting very truthful for just a sip of a Bloody Mary.
Yeah, I know. Tracy noticed that my hair has gotten quite long, and that's true. That's
no
true.
gray roots, though. That's good.
No, I don't color. I never have. So we've got people from Virginia, and no, I know if you haven't been to New Orleans, yeah, Marvin, NOLA is my home away from home. Don't we all?
Officially opening this Saturday, partially phase 1 and all that jazz, and I will find a speakeasy for you.
So tell me what phase 1 looks like in New Orleans.
Well, it looks confusing. They're not seemingly not allowing you to drink, let's say, hard liquor at these to-go bars or food. They are serving. I know. The spirits are just really upset. Because spirits love spirits. So you get beer and wine at bars that have a food license too, but they're not letting bars without a food license open on phase 1.
Okay.
So
what's that mean?
I know that's everyone's primary concern. Restaurants at 25% capacity.
Yeah, and that's scary. So you're born and raised New Orleans, and so people who don't know, you've written books about New Orleans haunts. You're a voodoo priestess, a paranormal investigator. You do haunted tours of New Orleans. So like tourism.
And I've got my own haunted museum in a 200-year-old, very haunted, controversial building.
Right, because you were in one of my books.
And that was before I opened the museum, and you wrote the foreword to one of my books.
That's right. So we've known each other for
years.
Years.
And Dancing with the Dead.
And
when they're not letting us do tours right now, no organized tours.
Right.
But I am the living loophole. I can do ghost hunts.
Okay.
Because nobody said they could do that. So I have my haunted museum has to be by reservation, but I like everything by reservation, so I don't care.
Right.
And I could do ghost stuff, and I have a huge courtyard. So if we're too close inside, I go intro, let you go in, come back. I'm going to make it work.
Yeah. And you know what? But isn't that what we're all doing? Like, we're all trying to make it work. Whatever we got to work with, that's what we're doing.
You got to wear masks, and you have to explain that, I think, to the ghosts. They get a little confused, like why this is going on.
For those who read lips, it's got to be a challenging time.
Yes, and they're not happy about it. They're putting up a stink about it. They are.
So it's fair to also call you a psychic medium, correct? Like
yes, of course. Yes, I've done psychic medium, psychic healing stuff, energy work, as well as seance for years and years and years and years. I don't do tarot, but I call it a psychic X-ray.
Right.
So I hope to come back to become more essential, since that was such a big difference on what could work and what could not. I have a voodoo pharmacy in my shop. I call it that, but more on the healing, both by mind, body, and soul.
Hmm.
And to me, that includes psychic work. It includes ghost hunting, because I think you got to work on both sides of the veil. We're all in this together, and that means the living and the dead.
Okay. That's Bloody Mary. So tell me, what do you miss the most? What do you miss? And is there like a restaurant you're missing? Is there
Eating
like
in restaurants, my God. I mean, I still go all the time, but it's not the same. It was
yeah.
my escapism to sit and just relax and, you know, enjoy the atmosphere and the different foods. And, you know, I definitely miss restaurants. I guess I miss the people. We got a little too crazy, I think. I used to, the last year or so, I kept looking around and go, oh my God, something's got to give. The French Quarter is going to cave in. You know, there's so many people. And I was like, shut up, what you're thinking. But it's so the opposite now. You know, so dead. I drive around in my car and pour rum out for the spirits because I know they're missing it, you know. They need the energy, you know.
I think about that too. So one of my favorite traditions, New Orleans traditions, is when you go to the Big Easy, you go to see the grave of Marie Laveau, right?
Right.
Voodoo Queen. And people leave her shots of rum, right? No?
You're right. When you came 3 years ago, they disallowed any form of offering.
Oh,
It
no.
was the tradition.
Yeah.
But they 3 years ago, they closed the cemetery to the public. You have to be with a group, a guide, not allowed to leave anything, maybe a flower. In the first year, you weren't even allowed to leave flowers. So, and no X's, no offerings. I have a whole shrine in my haunted museum. We leave stuff there and still feed her. But no, you'll get your butt kicked right out if you leave her. But yes, she did like rum. Just no, you can't do it now.
So sad. So yeah, it would be like rum and candy was like the big thing.
Rum and candy and food, cooked meals and magazines and jewelry. And I mean, you know, birth control pills and, you know, old underwear wrapped around a bottle, whatever it was that was part of your spell or your ex voto, whatever you were giving, you would find quite an array at Marie Laveau's tomb because it was an altar in itself.
And what is it about leaving offerings for the dead? I mean, I know that's not unique to New Orleans, but what is it about her?
But it might be one of the last strongholds in this country that still had that as a tradition, as opposed to trying to create it as a new tradition, which some places are doing now. The dead are hungry. The dead are thirsty. They like the things they liked in life, the social aspects. They would like to come to this. I invited them in. So all of you here, come and join. I've got some rum, and I could do this right now for you. But this is a voodoo tradition that's probably going to have to stop very soon.
Oh, let's do it. Okay. What do we do?
When you give rum or liquors to the spirit, let me sit back a little.
Okay.
You got to spray it.
Wow.
You can't do that with your mask on. You can't do that if you're trying to be healthy for other people. I start to do things I have to stop. I'm in my own home now. Nobody's here. I can do what I want. But that's how you traditionally give an offering, because you're also giving of yourself, of your soul, of your breath, of your saliva.
Right.
Nobody wants your saliva these days. You know, but that is a tradition. You'll hear it here. That's going to probably be dying very, very soon, and sadly.
If you did that in front of a cop, you'd be arrested.
Would I?
I think today you would. Maybe not a few months ago.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's on the books yet as a against the law. But about spitting, spitting's been kind of against the law a lot of places for years, but people still spit.
It's gross.
Yeah, I never liked it.
No,
and this is spitting, and it would be an honor for me to spit on you.
It would be.
People would ask me to spit on you with with the rum, to ask for the spray. It was part of the cleansing.
Right.
You know, it's one of the traditions that will be dying, you know, or changing, you know.
I think about our friends in Mexico, Dia de los Muertos, right? Where, of course, they bring food for the dead and they bring meals and things like that. So, again, not unique to the New Orleans culture, but unique in that.
It's an old European culture, which we are.
Yeah, it's been around a long time. And I love that. I love the idea that we still bring them around. Last summer, I got to go to Peru. And in some parts, they would actually mummify their ancestors. They would their loved ones. They would put them into caves in the mountains where it's very dry, and then bring them out, bring the whole body out like once a year for celebrations. And they would. A
lot of South American countries have maybe not all mummified, but traditions of on All Saints Day, which we had, was called Toussaint. Toussaint means All Saints in French. November 1st was our big day, where November 2nd is the big day, but it's also got a Latin Catholic background.
Right.
So we were 100% Catholic here, and we just did it a little different, but we decorated the tombs, we lit candles and stayed all night with them, cooked meals, showed off your first winter outfit. You know, it was a thing. Dwindling. But the spirits like the things they liked in life, to feel that they're a part of it. I put out a plate at a holiday, you know, and I still bring food to the graveyards. I just can't bring it to Laveau's too.
Isn't that funny? Anyone else though, no problem, right?
Well, that cemetery is highly guarded. I mean, I'll bring it to my family.
What is St. Louis Cemetery?
What? It will reopen. It's closed now.
Right.
But St. Louis, I called them today. They are reopening. They don't know when, because that is at a different stage. They have a couple of guards at the gate. Sometimes they time you at the tomb to see how long you are there. It just got busier and busier and busier since they start charging at the gate. Makes no sense.
Yeah. It's a funny thing. So how have you been?
Taboo, I guess.
Right. How have you been keeping your sanity for these last couple months? I mean, with
I have experience because I did Katrina.
Yeah.
And I did all my drinking and crazy stuff at Katrina. And after a month of that, after 3 years of problems with Katrina, after a month of drinking, realized, hey, this ain't helping.
No.
You know, I just watched all my friends destroy, you know, in Katrina. They went Katrina crazy, as we called it. And liquor didn't help that, you know, liquor, drug, whatever else they were doing. So I've been really busy. I've been editing a lot of video of stuff I've been shooting around and taking little mini tours, finishing writing my Marie Laveau book. I got a whole new candle line and a whole new different line at the store, and redecorating and just, you know, cleaning out the basement. All kinds of things like that.
Yeah, no, I've been trying to do like how this. So, you know, I'm like you, I'm self-employed, and when you're self-employed, you got to find your next gig all the time.
Make your own goals. Yeah, you got to. Yeah.
And so when everything just shut down on me, I'm looking around the house. I'm like, I got to paint those ceilings. That's way overdue. And I got to clean the basement. That's way overdue. So I'm trying, right? Like there's days when I'm killing it. I'm like, I'm going to take care of my home. I'm going to take care of this. I should be writing another book right now. But there's days where you're just like, I'm just going to surf the internet.
Sick of sitting, right?
Yeah. Right.
You know, to write another book means more sitting.
There's that. And it's but I miss the connection with people, and I miss being in a room. I've discovered this is not shocking to anyone who knows me. I need an audience or I will die.
I guess I do too. I mean, I always had, whether it was a tour, whether it was a museum, whether it was, you know, whatever I was doing, a video, spirit healing. I always had people from all over the world come to me, as opposed to me having to go find them.
Right.
You know, now no one's coming. The spirit of place is not used to that. You know, there's always been an influx of people.
But we're in a pause, and we're going to be coming out of that pause. Marvin wants to know, tell us more about the Marie Laveau book.
Well, when I wrote the book, Hauntings, Horrors, and Dancing with the Dead, which was published, I guess, 3 years ago, accidentally, but I guess somewhere on purpose, it ended up being a 666-page book. I wasn't trying for that, but that's what it actually came out to. And then we had decided to chop it into 3 books. So I kind of put a little chapter, Marie, in there and put it on the side. And then it was supposed to be these other 2, and then the publisher changed, and then the ideas were different. So it's been sitting on the back burner for 4 or 5 years, already like 90% done. So I resurrected it to try to modernize it for what's been happening, like since the cemetery closed, and her spirit now when it's in a kind of sleeping stage, like a lot of the spirits are. Have you found that a lot of the spirits are very, very quiet?
I found that, so what's interesting to me is that people who live in homes that they believe are haunted have never spent so much time in their home, right? Like you go to work, you leave, right? And suddenly like everybody's spending so much time. And for some people, it's been pretty trying, I think. Just all of a sudden that energy is always there as opposed to getting breaks from it. So I think in certain places, sure, it's quiet because it's not getting the energy of all those people. In other places, like private homes, it's
Mhm.
getting more than ever. And it's been interesting. I think all of it
I
is.
haven't set my ass still. I get up, I go someplace every single day. Nobody was going to stop me. I mean, I might have just drove around and videoed in a cemetery out of the window, walked through the woods, but I went someplace every single day, even just to get a cup of coffee and sit and watch the world go by. I was not going to just stay in. I
Get,
didn't mean to ignore the rest of the stuff about Marie Laveau.
no, of
People for
course.
years have been asking me to teach online, and I was so used to the people that I didn't have the time. Well, I have my first Zoom class this coming Monday on Marie Laveau and New Orleans Voodoo, and I hope to have a whole series of them. So that's available on my website. Actually, it's more available on Eventbrite as well.
There it is.
BlodyMaryNewOrleans.com. So Marie Laveau, Voodoo Queen, born in New Orleans, died in New Orleans in 1881, and her spirit has risen to kind of a patron saint. She's a local Loa watching over. Her tomb, a word you like so much, is a legend trip in itself. To go there, she's a healer, like a folk saint, even though she hasn't been officially recognized by the Catholic Church as a saint. People go there and they absolutely get healings. And I am a priestess in the tradition of Marie Laveau, current voodoo queen, and trying to keep New Orleans voodoo alive. There's a lot of voodoo in New Orleans, but not much of it is New Orleans voodoo.
Okay.
Like
What does New Orleans voodoo look like?
Much smaller, mainly forgotten.
Okay.
It was less Loas, but more important, very connected with the swamp magic. This is things that you learned growing up. It was just a different style. Haitian voodoo is a sister religion, and all of them are children of African voodoo. And they just develop differently. Like there is a form of Cuban voodoo and Puerto Rican voodoo and Brazilian voodoo. But everyone always thinks, oh, it's just Haitian, and it's not.
Right.
It came here directly with the slave trade from Africa and blended with the local Native Americans and everything else that New Orleans is known for.
Well, it's folk magic, right? I mean, we're talking about like every culture has it.
Well, the folk magic is different.
Okay.
As I always say, you can practice hoodoo without voodoo, but not voodoo without hoodoo.
All
Voodoo
right.
is the religion, hoodoo is the practice, which would be the folk magic, which would have a big old gumbo influence from everybody, right? That came here. You have a lot of European magic, you have a lot of Native American, you have a lot of African, all put together and what works. But why New Orleans is unique, well, why New Orleans voodoo is a different tradition is that New Orleans is not Haiti. Things were different here than there. They developed different out of different needs. Same thing. Let's say, for example, Santeria, which is a cousin, coming from a different tribe in Africa, going more to Cuban, developed a more male-oriented, and they have a more male-oriented society. New Orleans was the most matriarchal, and I'm trying to keep that alive.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, good for you. So Noella wants to know, what did you think of what American Horror Story did to Marie Laveau?
Pretty bad, She wasn't strangely enough, she wasn't as pissed as Madame LaLaurie was. But because I guess bad things have been said, a lot of haters for Marie Laveau in her life and afterlife have redrawn her a different way throughout the ages. They said always said a lot of bad things, but they hadn't done the whole baby killing part since probably the end of the 19th century. So, Papa LaBeouf doesn't do cocaine. You don't sacrifice babies. All those things are wrong, But I guess as I said, she's been talked about before when living and when dead. But yeah, they didn't do it. Now, the other character that people learnt about in that show was our most known ghost, Madame LaLaurie.
Right.
Now, I knew as soon as they said they were going to do it, that there was going to be problems. Because even though Kathy Bates is a wonderful actress, Miss LaLaurie was no Kathy Bates. She was a hot cougar, 45 years old with a husband 20 years younger. She was not the way they depicted it at all. And I did get a call from the director to come do an exorcism on the set because everyone that worked on it had negative paranormal experience.
No kidding. Did you go do that?
Yeah.
What was that? What's that like? Were they genuinely scared? Were some people,
a lot of them, and they didn't want to talk about it. It was some girl that they were talking to, got me in there, and they didn't want to believe, like a true American, that whatever they did would cause this ripple effect. Like they figured they just had license to do what they want without any payback. So they didn't believe in any of it. And then, I don't know, 6 months or 3 months into the show, they start noticing things and they start to try to be a little more serious about it. And then there was a woman that did practice voodoo who called me in. And we also had to try to give some training for rituals, because you do rituals wrong, which a lot of people do, it kind of causes a little chaos,
Yeah.
So I just tried to feed them and calm them down. I didn't have much time and I was making a big elaborate thing. I pre-mixed something, spilled it on the set, went and talked to the spirit and said, look, chill. But what's the oh damn it, I forgot to read my own blog today. The guy that did The Conjuring,
Yeah.
the brothers, is a team of brothers or something. Well, there are now in affiliation with the man who owns the LaLaurie Mansion, creating a Hollywood version of it, which I'm sure is going to ruffle a lot of feathers. And they were just negotiating staying in the house for a couple of months to write parts of the screenplay right when this happened. In fact, maybe it's their fault.
Have you? Yeah, right. Have you ever gotten a chance to go into the Laurie?
The downstairs, not the upstairs, during renovations a while ago. However, depends on how you want to look at that. My great aunt built the house, like in 1831. There was her dowry gift was those 3 lots. She built the mansion. A year later, decided she didn't want to live there while it was just finishing construction, and sold it to Madame LaLaurie. The house that I'm in right now, my haunted house, which I think we've done a Ghost Adventures in and a couple of other shows. We have done
Ghost Adventures there, yeah.
Is on Madame
Move your camera back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you were there. You are.
My viewing's weird. I was trying to show you my altars more than nothing.
Yeah.
My house is at the tail end of the property of one of the family LaLaurie plantations, the house that I'm in now. So there was a lot of real estate dealings. My family's been here 300 years. So there's a lot of, so if you believe in bloodline memory and bloodline, that maybe you have walked throughout, maybe I built the damn place. I don't know.
Speaking of your museum and your house, there's a question here from Dwell in Faith. Does Bloody Mary believe that the spirits in her museum are in her control, or are they on their own accord, human or inhuman? It felt so heavy, but the stories were great. Want to go back. What are your thoughts on that?
I do not try to control, and maybe that's not the word that she meant, as in, tie you up and you do what I say. So I guess the correct word is the spirits are not bound. They're not bound. However, I do, like if they misbehave, I will say, stop misbehaving. I believe it's very important to set boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
So I made it as a sanctuary in order to invite the spirits that didn't have a place to go, especially the children's spirits. I take care of a lot of children's spirits. I invited them to come in, but no, they do not have to stay. When they're gone, I miss them. When we're gone, they miss us. They're kind of very confused on what's going on now, but no, I don't feel they're under my control. I don't try to control spirits, but I do set boundaries like you have to when you're living with people, working with people. There has to be some form of agreement.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, I've had many friends that have said, when they've moved into a location and they realize something's weird here, it seems to be haunted. Just communicating seems to make a difference for them. Just to say, hey, you're here, I'm here. Can we get along?
I keep saying it's so simple. If you just stop getting the ooh about it, it's so simple. It's like anybody else that comes over, right? You gotta come in, but take your shoes off, all right? Because I just did this floor. You can sit over here, but that sofa's bad. You just kind of give them a little bit. And once in a while they say, screw you, I'm going to do what I want. And then you might get a little tougher. But in general, I think they try to get along.
We try to get along.
I don't control them in that way. I don't know if she meant it that way, but
Mary Jo.
A lot of people don't understand spirit work. They're saying, oh, you're not letting them rest. It's like they weren't resting. They're always here to one form or another. They come and they go. Sometimes they're more active. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes you're more active. Sometimes you're not. It's just the way it is.
I get it. I totally get it.
Sometimes you want more liquor. Sometimes you don't.
Speaking of that, Joe has a question for me. Did I make my Bloody Mary from scratch or did I buy the mixture? Joe, I made it from scratch. It's how I roll. And I got to be honest, I didn't make it spicy enough for my own taste. So I have only myself.
And I sent it to my blood in advance, right?
Yeah.
So that you could make a good Bloody Mary.
Yeah, I know. I screwed up my own Bloody Mary.
And I've got pepper pants on. There we go.
I miss New Orleans. I really do. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure you miss them more. I remember having beignets at Café Du Monde. I don't drink coffee, so that was lost on me. But like the beignets are so good, and the food and the music. I've had Gator, and just like that city pulses. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like any American city I've been to. What's that?
That's my Gator Athame.
Oh, tell me about that.
Make him use them, cut sacred space, cut things off you, poke you. Once in a while, I call it a shiv.
And so what do you do with it?
We cut sacred space with it. We cut things off of you.
What would you cut off of me with that? And what it hurt?
I don't mean physical things. I mean any attachments, any things that are attaching to you, cutting things, attachments off your aura, energy work, things like that. I don't literally cut pieces of your skin off with it. I don't know if that would be healthy.
That'd be more exciting.
But it's very sharp, so it could be a protection. No, but gator. You know, I work a lot with the gator spirit. So you may eat the gator. I do other things.
I have eaten the gator. I enjoyed it. I'll be honest. But whenever I'm traveling, I give me something I can't get at home.
Right.
That's all I ask.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And New Orleans was always great with new restaurants and food. We can't have that a part of our culture die. There was only 25%. 25% occupancy allowed right now. It's going to be tough for a lot of them.
Restaurants can't serve. I mean, restaurants need 50 to 75% to like some of them to break
turnover. They don't, you know.
Yeah. Tammy wants to know, what's your favorite New Orleans haunt? A place that people can actually go to. I know your museum is obviously one of them. What's another one that someone can actually get into?
Well, we have a huge amount of haunted buildings. So normally I would say hotels, restaurants, you know, places like mine, but there's a lot of places that aren't advertised that have their own haunts. However, I hear they're going to be making it hard to like just walk into a hotel lobby if you're not staying there now as part of certain phases. So, you know, but don't forget the trees, you know, Congo Square out in the park, the old oak trees, the cemeteries, obviously, and the river herself. The river is the biggest spirit. And please, when you come here, go visit the river. Salute her, send her some coins, pray, because she's the true power here. We need her to wake us back up and her to become part of it. So visit the river, visit the sacred sites, the Oak Grove and City Park. I take people to all these places, but you could go to those places and sit down and be still. This is one of the few times you can actually sit down and be still, you know, and really try to connect.
Right, especially right now, and it is an interesting time. I know some of my photographer friends have been getting out in their respective cities, wherever they live, all over the world, and to see photographs of downtown areas totally empty, no people, no cars. New Orleans, that I've been there several times.
Quarter, oh my God!
Like so. I mean, I've joked with people. I'm like, New Orleans on like a random Tuesday night is like a raging Saturday night. I mean, like it's always crazy. It's a huge party all the time, and there's that's
changed for sure, and it's gonna stay changed for a while. You know.
And I'm like so spirit of place, which I'm a big believer in spirit of place, right? Not only does that comprised of the history, the people, and everything that ever took place on that land, I think it's also comprised of your expectations of it. So when you go there, you know it. You're tapping into something that you've heard about it and know about it, and you're kind of becoming one with it. Yeah, you're communing with it.
Feeding it. So I go one step beyond and say to actually feed it. I'll ask you to go put an offering at the river with some coins and thank her. We don't just go to ask her. We got to remember to thank every once in a while. You know, please help us to be where we're supposed to be. Please come back.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, we had to go through this at Katrina very desperately. I went from spot to spot, pounding, dancing, singing, feeding, trying to revive things. It's not the same this time. But
so what was that like? Talk about Katrina a little bit.
Horrible. Way worse than this. Well, we had curfews too then. We had real speakeasies that we could slip into because you weren't supposed to be open past 10, but there was a few places if you knew of, you could go in and they might not let you out till 6 a.m., but hey, you
Right.
spent the night drinking in there and then the curfew had been done, So it was very sad, but it was very dark.
Yeah.
Very, very, very dark. The spirits, the ghosts, again, the people who I call the architects that built the town, the old ones, they were gone. The spirit place gone. We were flatlined and we were a ghost town, and it was just eerie, scary, not scary. Like
How long did
foreign.
it take to come back from like a spirit perspective? Till you said this feels like it was. How long?
3 years.
3
I
years.
did ritual after ritual in college. 3 freaking years. A long, long time. When the people came back, so the spirits, it was kind of a energy matching thing, I believe that a lot of the people that were here that never came back, when they came back slowly, like when the people came back, the spirits came back, and a lot of the ancestors evacuated with their families.
Okay.
Kind of attached. But that let the dark side run free without any checks and balances. So New Orleans has got a dark side which can be overshadowed by the partying and the fun, and and there's good with it. But with the good all gone, it seemed just the darkness was a hell of a battle.
Yeah.
It was not pretty. And that's kind of how, sort of like the story at my museum, 2 out of the 13 or plus spirits that we've got were kind of considered the last 2 Katrina victims, and they were victims to that darkness.
Wow.
Which I won't go into the detail, but like I'm still ever living with some of the things that happened back then.
Yeah, no, that doesn't
14, 15 years, Jesus.
Isn't that crazy? It's been that long, but I mean, you'll never forget it. I mean, we
divide our time. Oh yeah, before Katrina, this was like happened. Then after Katrina, and the town changed many times, and now here we go, gonna be changing again, not just here this time.
Right. Everywhere. Right? And it will come back. There will be a new normal for a while.
Maybe a little different, but yeah.
It will come back. Bloody Mary, we got to take a quick break because we had an anonymous donor give us a bunch of $25 Amazon gift cards to give away.
Cool.
Which is so cool. And so we did this on Monday for the first time. And so it's time for a little trivia. Bloody Mary, I need you to keep your mouth shut on this one. Like, you'll trust me. Like, after you'll be like, oh yes, I do have to keep my mouth shut. So
okay, I won't say anything.
You gotta zip it. So here's how this works. We're gonna play a little video clip from the paranormal detective Greg Lawson from his game. The first person to comment with the correct answer, you will win. And then after the show, I'll send you a message to get your mailing address, and I'll mail you the $25 Amazon gift card. Use it for something you need. Use it for something you want. Maybe it just brightens your day a little bit. That's the hope. Are you ready? I'm ready. All right, so let's do this. There it is, the paranormal detective. Take it away, Greg Lawson.
Thanks, Jeff. Hey, everybody. This week's trivia question from the Paranormal Detective Trivia Game. We're going to go with a legend card. According to Ghost Stories of Old New Orleans, it's claimed after this house burned, male slaves were found naked, chained to walls, their eyes gouged out, and their lips sewn together. Name this house.
And there it is. Okay, first person to comment. Bloody Mary's not going to say a word at all. She's just going to keep zip. So go ahead, start typing, folks. And the first person to get it will get it. Bryn, that is not the right answer. Sorry. Oh, I think we got it. Hold on. See, we got to let him come in. I'm not going to say it just yet because sometimes these things come in out of order. Give it just another second or two because everybody's typing. And a lot of you are getting the right answer, but it looks to me like the very first correct one was dwell in faith. Dwell in faith. So well done. Well done. The LaLaurie Mansion, which we were talking about extensively. How funny is that? Well, actually,
it's the number. Yeah, it's the biggest known. Yeah.
Yeah. So congratulations.
And they didn't really gouge their eyes out, but that's a whole other debate.
That was right.
Torture the hell out of them, though.
According to the legend. So what's going to happen? I will send you a message. It looks like you commented through YouTube. So watch for a message from me on YouTube after the show. Send me your mailing address and I will mail you the card. Thanks for playing. Thank you to our anonymous donor. Thanks to Greg Lawson. And I thought it was just appropriate to to go ahead and do that. So congratulations, everybody. That's the first one I saw in the thing. So if, by the way, just because there are people that are crying foul, my system here integrates both the YouTube comments and the Facebook comments. If you're watching just on Facebook, you don't even see the YouTube comments. You're going to have to take my word for it. So there it is. Thank you, guys. All right. That was fun. Hopefully no one gets mad. It was supposed to just be a fun thing.
Well, I was going to give an extra bonus to someone. So you've got that to make up for those that were upset. I was going to give a $25 Bloody Mary gift certificate for my online tour services classes and all that. So there, now they have a way to.
So do you want to give that to the first Facebook winner?
What?
Do you want to give that to the first Facebook winner?
Sure. Yes.
Okay, so
make everybody happy here.
All right. So the very first one was Dwell in Faith, and you will get the Amazon gift card. And it does look like Marvin. Well done. You are the first Facebook person with the correct answer. So Marvin, I will contact you after the show. And
you can shop online. You can shop when you come to New Orleans, whatever you want.
Look at that. So all right, but everybody's a winner. Thank you, Bloody Mary.
Well,
very sweet of you.
Don't want anybody angry.
All right. Well, and look at, he already forgave me. It's easy to forgive me when you just won something, isn't it? All right. Tracy's got so many questions for you. Tracy wants to know, have you ever had an out-of-body experience?
Yes.
Planned or unplanned?
Both. Unplanned. And it started off unplanned, then they were planned, and now it's like, whatever.
What do you mean?
Part of my job. It's like part of my job, I'll go I could check out somebody's house if they have hauntings that way. I can go visit someone's spirit and help do healings that way.
Right.
I've accompanied a few friends on ghost hunts and explained the whole house on the inside, what they were doing and stuff at the time. So yeah, but I also go to different dimensions, different time periods.
Tell me about
now as I did like 20 years ago, but I do a lot still. Yes.
Tell me about the first one where it happened involuntarily.
I don't know what I can't remember what the actual first one was, but I do remember that I just found myself wandering in an area that wasn't familiar with me, but It didn't scare me. And I went with it, and I thought it was like a really great adventure and kept trying to explore and figured out, I didn't have a string and I didn't watch myself hovering over, but I definitely, just was taken on a journey. Now there was one that was really scary, and I don't have hardly anything that I'm officially scared of.
What happened?
It was what time was I was in New York? So I was probably like about 22, 21, 22, living in New York. I'm from here, but I went there. Trying to think of when this occurred, but I guess it's not important when. I have a lot of different things that did occur, but I remember that I was wandering and there was something that attacked me. It was something, and it looked kind of, the best of my description, alien, but not exactly. It was like it had these long, kind of dangly octopus kind of legs, and it was, kind of there, and it attacked me. And I remember I was like, "What the hell is that?" And I kind of, strangled it to get it out of my way. And that was an entire journey. And then I remember rushing, trying to get back to my body because I knew soon as family would be here or something, and I better get the out of there.
Oh, Mary, we lost you. Is that the spirits messing with us? Well, I think we're going to have to give her a minute. Hopefully she comes back. But right in the middle of a story telling us about something really scary. And look at that. It knocks out the connection. So we're going to give Mary a minute, see if she can come on back. If you have questions for me, go ahead and post them. I will we'll filibuster this thing until she pops in. Joe read Journeys Out of the Body in High School. How do you learn how to leave the body? Joe, I'm with you. I got this book. God, I don't remember who wrote it, but it was about like learning how to do astral projection, how to actually leave your body. And I was so into that. I was like, oh my God, I want to do that. And I tried and tried. I feel like I was not successful. We've officially lost Mary, but I'm hoping she'll try to jump back in. If not, I'll hang out with you guys for a little bit. I can do that. This is how we roll. And then she found $5. Marvin, that's totally my line. That's the thing. So if you're ever telling a story and you're realizing it's not going anywhere, you just say, oh, and then I found $5. Oh, wait, I think we're getting her back. Hold tight, hold tight. Mary, are you back?
Yeah, I mean, I've got energy on my stupid computer. I don't know what happened, but I guess that ghost from 25 years ago came back to get revenge now.
Well, no worries. So you were in the middle of talking about like this scary thing that happened to you, and then all of
Thing
a
that
sudden, like,
attacked me, and then I had to kill it, but I always felt so bad killing it, and I felt that if I went back there again, that they'd be waiting for me. So that was one of the type things that, like you can block yourself. That was when I stopped doing it so naturally and had to do it more, learn and do it control, that I went and chose. But when I was taking all over the place before that without any problems, and after that, I was like, oh, I don't know. He's going to be over there waiting for me and get me. And instead, he just attacked my computer. So whatever.
well,
I moved rooms. Can you see
I'm
me
glad.
okay?
I'm glad you're back. So Regina wants to know about astral projection and timelines, like actually moving between them. How do you do that?
They took me, frankly. I
Okay.
mean, I've been back to Egyptian times, to many different times. And I don't know if it was because of past lives that I encountered, but it certainly seemed that I was recognized when I was over there by many, many different people. I can also try to focus on that time and go there. If I had something of the time period that I had just read or something, maybe that would help you. But in general, they came and got me.
Yeah.
They took me, and also the spirits in voodoo, they do a lot of work in the astral planes, that they teach you and show you things. So it's kind of part of the whole thing. In fact, they say never wake a mambo, because she's doing a lot of work on the other side,
Yeah. No, very cool. Very
So
cool.
sorry about that interruption. I'm on my cell phone now, so it's not as I have to hold it.
No, I like it. This is like real. This is like reality TV now. And so, show us
Let me
around
see if
your
I can go
museum. I mean, what the
outside.
heck? You're mobile now.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk outside and see. We're gonna sit by my bottle tree. And
Oh, I love that.
How that light works. Okay.
Oh, look at that.
This is part of some bottles we passed there, and then I'm gonna sit right there at my. There's a little bit of bottles behind me.
Having Bloody Marys with Bloody Mary and a fine New Orleans afternoon. This is what's better than this?
Some front porch conjure going on. That's my front porch, people.
Mm-hmm. I want to go trick or treating at your house. Do you give candy to the kids?
I do, but not a lot of them come. I found out after I moved. Wait, hold on. Sorry. I found out after I moved here that the let's see what happens this way. No, that the lady, a dead lady, one of my ghosts here at home, she stands on the front porch and used to scare the people on Halloween, so the kids didn't want to come up. And I didn't find that out till good 5-6 years after I moved here and found the ghosts out on my own. But it was already known in the neighborhood. And she's short woman, short gray hair. She's up and down the hallway inside my house as well. But she likes the porch, and she'd scare the kids on Halloween.
Yeah, no, what's Halloween like for you? What's Halloween like in New Orleans?
Work.
Yeah.
It was my favorite holiday, but it's work, I mean, it's the busiest time of the year on many levels, on the spirit level as well as on the busy level, usually for tours and ghost hunts and parties and all that. So it's big business. March and October are the busiest months. We lost March,
Oh, I know. God, right. Yeah, Lent and all that But
it's spring break. A lot of spring break here that just March and April just got totally screwed. We would have preferred that this would have happened if it had to happen in July and August, like when it's not as busy. But,
when it's like melting hot and you're just
it's like But no, they don't care.
Do you have vampire friends in town? Are you
what?
Vampire friends? Do you mix with that community?
I used to. The newer ones, the out of town ones that moved here, they there's not a huge community, but people come here for it. So there's a short one. I think I have a couple of vampire friends, and I have some that I don't know that are haters. So I don't know. I have all kinds of different ones in town. So I hear,
Yeah.
I'm friends with the more nationally known vampires. And of course, I do work with Bass and, Sebastian
Yep.
and all of those people. And they have that vampire ball every year, which I do a voodoo blessing or ritual for. And, they come to the shop and do the seances and stuff. So, I have a lot of vampire friends, but not a lot that are local in general. I mean, I have
Right.
more international friends than I do local.
So one of my Salem friends moved down to your neck of the woods, Christian Day.
Yes, he did.
And he's got a witch shop down there now, and he speaks very highly of you.
He has a shop, yes.
I haven't talked to Christian in a while, but he's always like Bloody Mary. So I know he loves it down there too. It's such a vibrant city. It's like a European city. It's
Well, that's what's, I guess, different about it, because it was that Latin Catholic Euro background.
Yeah, right.
And we don't just tear down buildings at the whim. We try to keep them.
Right.
Building,
And of course, so preserved. Do you think the above ground graves have something to do with all the spirit activity? The fact that no, doesn't make a difference.
People say that, but I don't see why. I mean, people say that because they're just not used to it. In this country, we're unique with the above ground burials. In the world, we're not unique.
Sure.
There's, above ground burials all over, especially Spain, Latin, where you were talking about earlier when you went to Peru, right?
Yep.
Or no, you said caves. They had caves there.
Well, so in Peru, they had, up in the caves, in the Andes.
I mean, we had a lot of death, and we're up below sea level. We're here at the mouth of the river. We were a port town where people kept coming. A lot of things had kind of, let's say, for example, made this a groove of going and coming and going and coming. So that meant for the spirits, as above, so below. So we've got that going on. Highest mortality rate in North America. We are no stranger to plague here.
Yeah.
Fever, cholera, triple the infant mortality, all these problems, so much quick death. And this was historically part of almost an entire 100 years of the 19th century. For every summer, there were quarantines and plagues and problems. So this is unfortunately built into our blood. So I should have a lot of damn immunities in here somewhere, right? 300 years of bloodline here. So I gave you some in your Bloody Mary so that you too would share that immunity. So you will not be able to get COVID.
Well, thank you. Hey, so Eric wants to know, using voodoo to stop a family curse. Is that something, would someone seek you out for something like that?
Yes. Not necessarily a family curse, but general curses. Many curses we end up putting on ourselves, I like to say it in layman's terms, you might get yourself a waxy buildup, problems and co-workers and jealous people and ex-lovers and all those things that have their vendettas against you for whatever they think you might have done them wrong, right? That can build up into kind of like a curse. Are there things like family curses that can pass down? I guess there are. I don't like to give power to it, but it is our job in this incarnation to try to help to pull the whole bloodline, family line forward. Just like some cultures believe that it's the dead's responsibility to help you survive in the here and now. And then in voodoo, there's also the part that the ancestors not yet born that come ahead are pulling us forward. So you work with the unborn, you work with the ones before, you work with the here and now. So to try to make that awareness to you, to do spiritual cleansings on a regular basis, as well as physical cleansing and community service and different things that are kind of like sacrifices. And I'm not talking about a chicken and make its head off.
Right.
Giving of yourself. You need to cleanse your bloodline. I mean, all of us have had some pretty nasty people in our past. You can't help not have, and no matter how far back you got to go, there's somebody back there that was no good, right?
Right.
So you just try to pray for them and release their spirit, and that helps release you and everything. But yeah, there's physical things like I might use that gator bone, I might use my rattle, I might make you do a salt bath. In fact, I'm doing an entire curse breaking video right now, but for dolls, cursed dolls that I got, that I showed like a whole bunch of different ways that I'm gonna have out on YouTube in within a week.
Yeah.
All kind of methods to stop curses and things that are attached to something that you owned, not only your bloodline,
Yeah. So is there anything spiritually that's off limits to you? Like you won't touch it?
This is not a COVID question, right?
No, I mean like...
Sure, I don't want anything to do with somebody that wants to break up in a relationship because they want somebody's man or some crap like that. I don't do a lot. I'm
Okay.
very picky, and I've been very picky for a long time on what kind of work or spell work that I would do. I prefer people that know that they have to participate, that it's big picture work, and not that just want to treat the symptoms of what's going on. They need to, if you want something changed, you got to be willing to do the work to change your life sometimes, right?
Right.
Like you can't come and get a cleansing from me and run outside and go jump in a mud puddle and then complain that you're still dirty.
Right.
You gotta work with it, and it's not TV instant magic and you're done. You gotta know the difference. I think as time goes on, more and more people forget that what's on TV isn't always real.
Right.
In the movies, you've got to try to be realistic about things, and you got to put the work in. So yes, I do, and I have tried to get rid of family curses and everyday curses and job curses, and sometimes we step in stuff.
I love that you say that people need to be part of the solution. I know when I'm dealing with hauntings, especially with families, they watch the TV shows. TV shows are edited, right? They're cut down,
Right.
and
5 minutes.
right. I mean, into just minutes. And so you try to explain to them, look, you can't just bring a person in and all your problems go away, right? Like, you believe your house is haunted, but you're also an alcoholic, and there's drug addiction in the house, and there's violence issues. And just because you bring in a ghost hunter, a paranormal investigator, even a TV show, like that stuff's not magically gone at the end of the investigation. You still have to deal with those issues.
And sometimes it's just an investigation. They're there to plant the seed and to help you, but they're not. You got to go in places lots of times, do things over and over again.
Right.
A good example is everybody's favorite, The Exorcist, the movie. I mean, the real life boy who that was about. I think he had to go to the Catholic Church and do 3-4 exorcisms. Like
it was a lot.
And kept being rebaptized. And I'm big on believing to be rebaptized, except I do it my way. So there's follow-up, just like sometimes you might have to clean a stubborn stain with more than one solvent. You got to keep, Oh God, yeah. It's not, I explain that all the time. Look, we're here for an hour. You're not going to be having everything done in 10 minutes. Not that it's not possible.
Right.
But it doesn't mean the ghost is going to come down and jump on your head immediately, grab you in the ass, but it does happen.
Right. Yeah, and that's one of the things that's such a challenge. The people that are fans of the TV shows, and we've had you on Ghost Adventures, and they see some of the stuff and they think like stuff can get solved in 44 minutes. And
it's like editing people. You think they sat there 8 hours.
Yeah. Right.
They sat there and they got some information, but it's not. That's what killed me when they're at my house. They were here 45 minutes and they were done. They said they didn't need any longer. It was all this, and they weren't going to go back in, and they had all kind of stuff happen. I was like, really? Well, I've been prepared them for days. Y'all are coming. The TV show's coming. Better not be scarce. The TV show's coming.
Right.
And then they were like 3 hours late, so I think my spirits were pissed at them. So they just went right on them immediately. It was really funny. Hours late, which is a typical Hollywood thing, right? Always late. And then by the time they got there, they're ready to kick some ass. So that was cool.
David makes a great point. Like, I'd love to see a TV show portray magic, voodoo, and the paranormal. So I really haven't seen. I mean, I know we've had you on Ghost Adventures, but like, have you seen any shows really? They haven't really touched it.
I've been up for so many of my own series, doing that. But then one thing or another, somebody tries to cheese it up this way. Somebody wants me to fake something that way. Or they have an idea of what I should be or how it should be, Hollywood eyes, and not letting it just happen. Because I created about 25 years ago now, more Voodoo Paranormal,
right?
Combination of old school, new school. And I mean, I've every show I've been on, especially Ghost Adventures, there's always been an aspect of voodoo, which in my way has become a lifestyle to everything that I do. Right.
Yeah.
But it's a little controversial for a lot of the TV shows, but I'll never had any problem with it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? I mean, I would love. What I love about
come back to New Orleans again when it's all blows over. We'll see if Ghost Adventures wants to delve a little deeper.
I would love that. I would love that. I mean, it's. I mean, in my role,
the last time.
What's that?
You didn't come.
No,
the
I did
last
not
time
get
when
to
you go?
go
Yeah.
last time. It's unfortunate. I would love to. I mean, it's one of my favorite cities. I've enjoyed New Orleans every time. The very first time I went Bloody Mary, I was 19, 20 years old. And I'm older than some people may think. It was a long time ago, and they didn't card you. We could drink on Bourbon Street, and I was
Oh, they didn't card. When I
no.
was a kid, absolutely not. No, we had. Oh no, you're
So
out.
we drank our faces off on Bourbon Street, and then we started. It was very late at night, walking back, trying to find the bus stop to get to our hotel, which was not in the French Quarter, not close. And then next thing you know, we got mugged, and
Aw.
wallet stolen, and all this other stuff. And then
Well, you didn't get killed, so that's
didn't get killed. Got to the bus station, called my mommy because I'm like 19 years old and I didn't know what else to do, and canceled the credit cards. She calls the New Orleans Police Department and says, "My baby's in this bus station. He's got no money. He's got nothing." Cop came and gave me $100 of his own money and
Wow.
said, "I want this back." And we did. As soon as I got home, I mailed him with interest. I mailed him a check and said thank you. But that New Orleans cop gave me $100 of his own money, and I got home on a wing and a prayer.
Rare, and that's wonderful. So at least the spirit of place was looking out for you, even if there was somebody that was out to get you.
Yeah, no, but I've been back since, and it was still a great experience, a learning experience.
People drink too much here.
I know, and I've been better since. I mean, gosh, the other times I've been back.
It's gotten worse.
Well, for me, I don't drink my face off there
so
anymore.
People in general now coming, it's worse because they throw Everclear in everything.
I know. All those hand grenades and the hurricanes.
The last 10 years or so, not all the frozen drink, everything. Anytime they could throw that in, and that gets you sicker quicker than it gets you drunk and gets you crazy.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of. But what I was going to say was which was much older, because now I'm. When I was underage, they didn't card, and there were there was still some of the kind of sort of secret passageways and entranceways from one building to another that was left over from the actual speakeasy times.
Ooh.
So in some of these bars, so they knew when the cops were ready to place, they'd tell you, you'd hop a balcony, you go do this, you go do that. And even going back farther than that, all the courtyards in all of the buildings in a block used to connect. So there was like a way to weave in and out. And that was utilized heavily in the speakeasy times because we didn't sit well with prohibition.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's a great town. Bloody Mary, we're running right up against the end here, but thank you. Thanks for
sorry for that technical difficulty, darn. So for that note, please do know if you get scared on the other side, go back and just hold your ground and everything will be okay.
Yeah, and thank you for coming back with us. There it is, Bloody Mary.
Yeah, I'm glad I found you.
Yeah, and if you get down to Bloody Mary, get down to New Orleans, check out Bloody Mary. There she is on Facebook and Instagram. And things are coming back. We're going to start opening. We have to get back to normal. We just will.
I'm opening my haunted museum and voodoo pharmacy this Saturday. We do readings online on the phone. We do classes that are starting next week, and I've got a whole, I call it Mojo to Go kind of shopping thing I do with my phone if you want to come shopping.
Awesome. Very good. Well, thanks for sharing some stories with us tonight.
Spirits be with you.
Thank you. And you as well. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching and being part of this. We're going to be doing it Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, whatever that is, 4 o'clock Pacific. So keep hanging out. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook if you want to find out what else is going on. Like the page and you'll see what else is happening. Tell me who else you want to see on the Speakeasy because we're booking more people all the time. There's my website. And of course, if you want to tip your bartender, Venmo tips are accepted and appreciated during these tricky times. And thank you to everyone who has tipped so far. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Bloody Mary. Thank you, everybody else.
Everybody.
Please, until next time, be sure to take it easy.
In the Big Easy.